This is the Liquid Courage Podcast, a in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. On this episode, we check out King Ramses' Curse and the Clutching Foot, featuring Taylor, Tim, and Sheldon. Now here are your hosts.
Good. You want to take the lead?
No. I did it last week. Your turn.
Went so well.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So, what is our plan here?
I'm already recording whenever you want to start.
We just start when we want to.
I mean, yeah, that's just kind of how it goes when you just kind of roll into a thing and you just say things like, "Welcome to the Liquid Courage Podcast." Yeah, I made that really hard for you to edit on purpose.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Welcome to the Liquid Courage Podcast, your podcast for all of your courage the Cowardly Dog needs and
In
wants.
liquid form.
All rolled into one that you can just have. As always, I am Taylor, and I am surrounded by my two co-hosts, Tim.
Hey, shot time.
And Sheldon.
Cheers, and why did you stab my weight like that, you asshole?
For funsies. All right. So hey, welcome, people and friends, to another very fun episode of the Liquid Courage Podcast, where we just skip over talking about the episodes and just talk about the geopolitical climate of the world today.
Yeah, that's right. We get angry and we talk about things like catfishing.
Yeah.
Take a shot whenever Taylor gets angry, but don't die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you will. But welcome everyone to this very fun episode. Before we get too far into things, we watched two very different episodes today. It's very fun. We're all extremely excited.
Before we go any further with that, I do want to apologize for not getting this episode out on the very first day of the month. That's not really something we planned for, but
Listen, you can all blame it for me.
I'm hoping to get this out by the second, I guess the first Wednesday of the month.
We are a monthly podcast, which means we put an episode out every month until we get paid to do this.
And then I guess we'll do it every week.
Guess what? No.
Yeah, don't put that stipulation in.
Don't do that. We have not gotten any of them big bucks from Purple Mattress, so we can't do that yet.
Yes, our fake ad reads has not gone through.
Not like Lay's.
Not like Lay's potato chips, the official sponsor of the...
Oh, please, you know it's Uncle Ray's.
Of the 2020 Olympics. Halfway air, halfway salt. You got it.
Uncle Ray's is the best potato chip. Anyway,
don't get me wrong, I love Uncle Ray's potato chips.
Uncle Ray's potato chips. Go buy some. They're like $3 at a dollar store. Don't ask questions. Just do it. But we are here to talk about our wonderful podcast, our wonderful boy Courage. If you want to talk about our wonderful boy Courage with us, you should check out our Twitter at liquid_podcast on the Twitters, and message us, do whatever.
You can
DM
also
us,
email us at theliquidcouragepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, you can.
That is our email. If you ever wanted to send us anything, tell us props or tell us we suck, I will take all of it.
Yeah, Tim filters it for us, so my pride can be intact.
Only tell Tim he sucks. Don't tell me I suck.
Don't worry, most people do.
I'm a glorious flower.
I'm a pretty boy. But we're here to talk about Courage, and we have had probably at least one of the most iconic episodes. I don't know if it's...
I like both of these episodes.
I would say the first part of this episode is definitely the most iconic part, the most remembered part for sure.
If you don't know Ramses.
And then the second part is one of my favorite episodes. So
yes, and it is a very fun time. So we'll start. We'll jump into the first episode we watched, which
King Ramses' Curse.
Yes, King Ramses' Curse. So we watched 2 of them. We watched King Ramses' Curse and the Big Toe. What's it called?
The Clutching Foot. Come on,
Clutching
man.
Foot. I know. We just watched it. Episode 7, respectively, of season 1. We're moving. We're moving pretty heavily through season 1. We're almost about midway. Actually, we're a little past midway technically. So we're excited to be here. But I think Ramses is an episode that everyone remembers for one thing or another.
Because you shit your pants as a kid.
Because of the CG. Yeah.
It's very yes. It is a very interesting episode. It's very spooky. It's very it's very funny.
Ramses spooked me. I don't like him.
Yeah, I think I have talked to numerous people when we talked about when I have talked about this podcast and when we talked about starting this podcast, they were like, "Oh, the Return the Slab episode." Those of you that listen, go talk to a friend about Courage the Cowardly Dog. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go, "You mean the Return the Slab show?"
Yep.
That's what they're gonna go to.
They're always gonna go to King Ramses' Curse first. That's
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
They are. It's just I think we'll figure out why fairly quickly. But we are.
I already know why.
Let's kind of get into that. This episode is interesting to start off. It's another episode that doesn't start inside the bag home. It doesn't start.
It starts with 2 anthropomorphic cats on the road.
Yeah, it starts with murder.
On the run from the cops.
Right.
And they've got a helicopter.
Well, the cats don't. The cops do.
I was gonna say the cops
do.
The cops are the only one. So they're only following him in the helicopter too. There's no cop car.
And that's pretty impressive for nowhere.
For nowhere. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that we end up with some real fun issues with that. But they are running their anthropomorphic cats, which just go ahead and apparently confirms for me that cats, when they meet cats, and no one is like super perturbed or confused by cats being an anthropomorphic cat so early on, that apparently anthropomorphic cats just are a thing that happens in this universe. They're just there.
Yeah. We met him in an anthropomorphic fox and an anthropomorphic
fox.
They've met a lot of like animal people, which is kind of
don't forget the weasel and the fucking like.
Well, they were
squattier one.
Henchman thing.
Yeah.
But I think it just confirms really that indeed the this is a thing that just happens in this universe, so that's fine. And this is an interesting episode because it's not. I wouldn't say it's as silly as some of the others. Would you guys?
No, it's more about the conflict.
I don't know. There were some things Ramsey said that made me go.
You're right.
Yeah.
There is a lot of levity, but to get back to our summary, the cat's running away. They're running from the Polizei, and then they pull over and bury their treasure. And they happen to bury it just outside of the bag residence.
Right next to the water spout.
Why? Right next to the water spout.
So they'd remember.
Exactly. And they have nondescript foreign accents. You can't place them. I can't place them. It's 2K19. I'm not going to do that. Oh, go ahead.
If I was going to guess, they would be Middle European, maybe in the German region. I would say maybe if I had to guess.
Oh, Tim,
if this is like a guy who's speaking English in Berlin.
Let's
play that might be one of those.
Let's play a game.
Tim, who did you offend right now?
Let's see. Let's spin the wheel.
Let's see. How many countries list Germanic as one of their languages? Brazil, Bosnia, Herzegovina, the Czech nations, both Slovakia and the Czech Republic, Denmark, Hungary, Italy, Kazakhstan.
Jesus Christ, your Google search is great.
Namibia has some German-speaking people. Poland, Romania, parts of the western front of Russia, Slovakia, Ukraine, parts of France.
I
You
get
want
it.
to
I'm
keep
not
going?
the best human being in the world. I'm not perfect. Damn it.
Oh, Tim.
To our international listeners,
all of which are in usually the UK. Very few are in Brazil.
Tim doesn't know where languages land. Turns out you can be from anywhere in speaking language. But
2019.
anyway, yeah, it is an odd European-esque accent. It does appear to have more of a Germanic slight to it. I wonder if that was supposed to be like a Hans Gruber-esque type reference.
I think they were making fun of Die Hard. Yeah, for sure.
Or just something along that. I mean, this is early. Early 2000s.
Like, I don't even remember
2000.
what Short Cat sounded like, to be perfectly honest.
I don't either, because he was pretty nondescript.
Yeah, the original Cats didn't really have an accent, so.
I mean, Cats is just kind of a jazzy, cool cat.
Can we not talk about Cats?
We will have to, because he comes back.
Several times.
But they are running away. And
then they get fucking murdered.
Well, they get stopped by an entity that we don't see initially. And you see his shadow, and you hear the very much iconic "Return the Slab."
But you only see his shadow.
You do. And then, well, Sheldon put it really nicely. A plague of locusts appear.
Oh.
Biblical. It's nice that they decided not to, murder the firstborn son of everyone and deal with that.
There's no X's on these houses.
What happens to those without firstborns?
The spirit of death passed over your house.
They passed over, yeah.
I always wondered, like, did they have to offer something else? Or...
Well, see, you had to put the lamb's blood on the outside of your door, and then that was to show God that you were, like, with him, and then that's why the spirit would pass over your house.
What's that actor in that
not
movie?
kill you.
Not very religious, so everybody couldn't tell by that question I just asked.
No,
but yeah,
that's fine. What's the actor in that movie?
What movie?
The Egyptian?
You mean Jesus?
No, I meant in the famous movie that was
Moses. You mean Moses? Actually, sorry.
Sure, yeah,
Silly
Moses.
me.
Fuck it, me. Yeah.
What do you mean? Which movie? There's about 1,000.
There's a movie that is like shown every Easter, every Passover.
You mean the animated one?
Yeah,
no, not the animated one.
Do you want the Prince of Egypt?
Nope.
Do you want the Ten Commandments?
The Ten
Do
Commandments.
you want which?
Oh,
is it? It's not
Charlton Heston.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Oh, praise Charlton Heston. Praise his name.
That joke too long to get there.
Yeah, I thought you guys would hit it right on the
just
nib.
right.
Nope.
But anyway, so a plague of locusts descends upon two kitties in the car, and we hear noises.
We pan over to the baghouse.
Yes, we pan away. We avoid the viscera in this episode, and we'll
get to the viscera in the next episode.
Yes.
We pan over, and then we pan back, and the car's gone, and that is 2 more deaths on our death counter. Currently, the general death counter is up to 6.
Most of them Eustace, but
oh no, that's the general. The Eustace death is 4. That's a total of 10. I've already rolled in the next thing, just so we're clear. We end up with 10 deaths in total. So in this fun episode, culminating in this season. So that's neat for a cartoon about a funny cowardly dog. That people are. The bags have such a high body count for people around them.
You know, if you haven't
died
Kansas
yet.
long enough, people
Well,
die.
The thing is, like, Eustace were like, oh, haha, funny cartoon, ha ha ha. The general deaths, they don't come back.
No, not usually.
They're actually dead.
They're gone forever. So yeah, they get devoured by locusts. Hold on to that, listener. We're going to talk about locusts.
Several times in this episode.
And we pan over to the house. Courage.
Just missing the fucking murder.
Yeah, he's... What's going on?
What's that?
Happens to miss everything, but goes directly to where the slab is buried and digs it up. Because he's a dog.
And that's
And
what
then he comes back and knocks on the door while also being in, like, super dog. The most dog he's ever been so far.
On all fours.
On all fours, with the slab in his mouth.
Very dog. Walks in. Gives it to Eustace. They now have a fireplace with a moose above it.
I, too, wish to have a fireplace with a moose above it.
Now, the Bag residence has been fairly consistent. Early on in our podcast, we did have massive debates about a clock.
Yep.
It was
Turns out we were wrong. The clock has always been there.
Oh, man.
But
however, this fireplace
it's never been there.
Is some black magic bullshit.
Yeah. Plus,
because it's never been there.
Plus the door to the basement. Plus a bunch of other shit.
Basement.
Yeah. This is a Hall of Mirrors-esque Bag residence in this episode. And it is interesting. It's a fairly normal fireplace. Besides the moose with the punk rock hairdo.
No, he's fine. He's had a punk phase.
Yeah, and it is there, and Courage shows Eustace the slab, and Eustace doesn't care.
He tosses it out the window and calls it garbage.
From the Garbage Dynasty.
Which, that's a fucking grade A joke. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, that was...
You're saving that one in your back pocket? Is that what you're telling me?
Garbage from the Garbage Dynasty? That's gold, Eusty.
And... secretly Eustace confirmed.
Then... I don't live on a farm, and I know how to grow some things, so no. But Eustace is then left much more excited about said slab when a news report comes on offering... Do they offer a reward? I missed that part.
It was a reward. Like, it was just nondescript reward, I'm pretty sure.
So, offered a reward for slab. Tim, you say no?
Well, okay, so I say yes. I'm reading the wiki right now. However, Eustace's opinion changes after learning the Nowhere newsman that the stolen artifact is worth $1 million.
Oh, okay. So they give an actual monetary
They don't
amount.
say there's a reward, but they say it's worth $1 million.
So, apparently there isn't necessarily a reward, is what we're getting at.
Yeah, there's not really a reward. Just the person on the TV, right? Yeah, said it was maybe worth $1 million. So,
which was it even our normal newsboy?
I don't remember.
Oh shit, was it?
I don't think it is. I don't think it's the normal newsboy. It might have been, but
well, then it's not real news.
It's
fake news.
It says Eustace's opinion changes after learning from the Nowhere newsman. Which picture is the Nowhere newsman? I guess it would be the boy. Yeah.
So it's real news.
So.
Oh no. Oh, it is. Yeah, I went back to the episode.
Yep, it is. Yep.
I'm giggling.
Taylor spreading fake news around.
How dare you, sir?
That's me. Trump is a lizard.
He's the real person. Everyone else
and so is... Oh my god, that's the better one. Oh my god.
He's trying to drain the swamp, but he needs to cut off the tails first.
Why would you cut off the tails? Lizards grow their tails back. Well, not all lizards.
As I say, not all lizards. Hashtag not all lizards.
Not all wizards.
Not all wizards
grow
either.
Their hair.
Not all lizards grow their tails back. Not all wizards grow their hair back. Not all lizards are wizards. All right.
Not all wizards went to the J.K. Rowling universe and are dealing with all of the problems that come out of that now.
Oh,
do we have to talk about that now? No, but if you ever want to have a fucking lark, listener, Google sometime where did wizards go poop, and you'll realize the extent of crazy.
Can you guess who's gay in the Harry Potter universe?
That's a different thing.
Can you guess?
I just like. Never mind. The poop thing is my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
That's what happens when you try to fill a pothole with other information. Don't just go as a pothole. Pothole, plot hole. But anyway, speaking of plot holes, we don't have any here. In Courage.
Great segue, by the way.
I'm working, baby. But yeah,
Eustace.
so it's missing. It's worth a lot of money. Eustace suddenly goes outside, grabs the slab.
Anything worth money is worth my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eustace never grows as a character.
Nope, he's always the same archetype the whole time.
You're right. Even in the episode where he grows, he doesn't.
He doesn't, actually. That was... There have been a lot of things online recently going back and examining cartoons from this era.
Oh, wow.
I went on a rant the other night about it and unironically forgot that we are one of those things.
Yeah, I was going to say, we are a time machine. Yeah.
So that was fun for me to have that realization. But
that was a fun Discord conversation.
And you'll never hear it, listener. So,
So he said.
Tim, you got that recorded, right?
No, wink. Never have that recorded. I definitely wasn't streaming at the time.
I'm more mad at you that you audibly said wink. Like, I know that this is an audio medium, but like you did that and my blood boiled.
Cringed. Yeah, you cringed as hard as you could.
Hello.
Ooh woo. I want to quit. But
too late.
Anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's nostalgia bombing. It's nostalgia bombing the airwaves. Looking at this old stuff, and old is God. It's 19 years old. I just realized that. Courage the Cowardly Dog is in college.
Yep.
But
he's being asked to drink and sleep with people that he shouldn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's being asked to sit on that leather couch that we all know so well.
I don't know. Can you explain?
No, not if you're not if we're trying to stay on a PG-13 level.
Well, you see,
haven't I said fuck before?
Yeah, we have several times. Anyways, the leather couch is the porn couch that we've always.
Now you know what Tim Googles. But
please.
Oh, that's a meme.
Anyway, yeah, I know, but there's a lot of nostalgia bombing going on right now, and somebody made a really good point about the Looney Tune-esque nature of Courage the Cowardly Dog. But I see in Dilworth, like,
I only really saw it in one episode.
Well, see, and that was the thing, is like Dilworth's like influence of that in Courage and in that, and I think that's almost a gimme statement. I think almost all animators today have been influenced by the Looney Tunes.
In some way, shape, or form, yeah.
Because it was the fucking Looney Tunes.
It was the Looney Tunes. That makes sense.
It was the first big, and it was also the best. Like, they didn't stop. They just kept going.
If you weren't copying Looney Tunes, what were you copying?
Well, and so, like, that's the slapstickiness that we see.
Right.
But I think giving just that influence is kind of cheapening out a lot of the extra mile that a lot of these creators in the 2000s and 90s really did, because they did a lot of changing of that format. It wasn't all just slapstick. It wasn't all Bugs Bunny. It wasn't all Daffy Duck.
Yeah, as we'll get to
rabbit
season.
It was King Ramses.
I was gonna say, as we get farther into this episode too, it's gonna be Gross Out and other stuff.
And so that's what I'm getting at, is like, as we move through this episode, yeah, there's some of that still, but you see a lot of departure. And a lot of, even up to this point, like we saw it in some of the other stuff, but we've seen other themes coming in that are not just funny haha Looney Tune. And yes, I know that there were Looney Tunes cartoons that were not all funny haha, but still, there's a lot of that slapstickiness that's there, which is still great. But Eustace never grows as a character, and much like Elmer Fudd never grows as a character. But that was where that analogy was going, but it took a 45-minute segue. It wasn't 45 minutes; it was like 15.
It's okay. It's much farther than my Moses joke.
I want to see
going.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's raining on Mount Fuji. But Eustace takes the slab. He is obsessed with the money. There's a knock at the door. They open the door. There's a very English man at the door.
It's the sheriff in another outfit going, this slab, it could be real great for my museum. And if you do indeed donate this slab to my museum, Mr. Baggs, I will give you this tote bag. Thank you. So, only with every 1 million donation to see the slab, though, of course.
That's my favorite thing. That is a joke that no longer exists.
Yeah, that's not a real thing anymore.
Because now it's just a joke about pyramid schemes. But
and those don't exist anymore.
By the way, older listeners, don't buy things from your high school friends that are just telling you if it's a nice entry fee to get in and make thousands of dollars at home. Don't do that.
Also, the only good place on a pyramid scheme is the top.
Yeah. Older listeners, not everyone's trying to sell you shit. I've got accused of being part of a Ponzi scheme when I was like, hey, I just really want to meet up with you again, you bastard.
Well, maybe you should not sell unique to people.
God damn it, just because I was selling soap at the time doesn't mean anything!
But Tim, were you part of a pyramid scheme?
No, but I wasn't trying to sell anything.
I really want to talk to somebody that was part of a pyramid scheme and realized they were part of a pyramid scheme.
I could hook you up with that.
I think that would be a really fun long form interview. But before that, before Mary Kay, well, I guess Mary Kay's been around a while, but before all of these new ones, Don't Buy Skinny Tea, came around.
See, no, don't.
Back in the day, they used to run ads all the time about donations to things. And it was always like, on whatever donation, you'll get this fun tote bag. I 100% remember so many of those.
There's a lot of them. No, you're right.
Oh my god. And as a kid, I would always be like, I want that tote bag. I didn't know what a tote bag was, but I wanted it.
It could hold my Pokemon cards.
My Pokemons. My Yu-Gi-Oh cards and my Pokemon cards.
No, you never mix them.
Same time, Tim?
No.
I did not have both.
No, get out. No. You were a Digimon kid, weren't you? Jeez.
You want to pull out my Yu-Gi-Oh? It's right here next to me.
Digimon.
But so it's a really funny joke that will definitely not make any sense now.
Slams the door on him because it's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's a scam. And if only people were that smart.
If only, well, and Eustace is the ultimate scammer, so obviously.
So he understands. I misunderstood.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I mean, look at the running that we've seen so far. Yeah. But
he's dumb, but he's also the ultimate scam artist. I didn't see that.
He slams the door on this English boy, who again talked about a museum, right? Like talked about a museum.
Yeah, he was. Yes. Yeah, he's basically the head.
Please donate it to the museum.
Okay. Cool. So museum, they stole it from a museum, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Cool.
Lines connecting.
Hold on to that.
Stars are aligning.
No. I want you to hold on to that. I want everyone to hold on to that thought because it's gonna be a big one.
Is it?
Yeah. So
okay.
That goes on. And later on in progresses. Shit gets dark, and a aura of
malevolence.
Yes, malevolence falls over the Bag residence.
And Courage notices the first part of the slab kind of fades away on it. He goes,
"Yes,
that's after fucking Ramses shows up in person."
No, it fades away first. Oh, I mean, no.
He shows up to go, hey, give me the slab back.
You're right in that he showed up to the cats, but then he fades away on the slab first, then showing up outside the Bag residence.
Yes. And
goes,
hey.
Yes, then says, return the slab, and Eustace doesn't believe him that it's a ghost.
Nice try, curator, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
Archaeologist? I can't remember his name.
Museum
Nice.
man, I think.
He also says the first time, "What's your offer?" Actually, that's the second time. The first time.
How many times does he say what's
He says
your
it
offer?
6 times about this episode. He says, "What's your offer?" in the
Maybe I
same
should
way.
just be Eustace.
There's a lot of horrible noises that happen, by the way. Like, the thing disappears, there's like a weird knocking. Courage freaks out. Return the slab goes off.
Right.
What's your offer?
What's your offer?
Return the slab or suffer the curse. What's your offer? And then Ramses gives out. Is that Ramses? Is that what we're supposed to believe?
King
that
Ramses.
would be that's his name. Is Ramses.
Looks better than the real King Ramses.
The ghost of Ramses is what it's called, but Ramses
Mummy of Ramses, Ghost of Ramses.
Yeah, it's good to just say Ramses. You're fine. Yeah.
But he basically doesn't. Eustace doesn't give in. He says, "Nice try, Professor." And then the first plague disappears from the slab, which I haven't watched this episode in a long time, and I thought it was wind.
Nope.
I was very confused.
Water,
it looks like that,
It's-
right? Yeah.
Okay, it's wavy lines,
It's
and I'm not a smart man. You're lucky I didn't. You're lucky I didn't say, "Man, plague of bacon."
Oh wow.
Okay.
Muriel's gonna fry
The
up a
only
lot of
thing
bacon.
I'm going to argue about the plague of bacon is who wouldn't want a plague of bacon?
I want it right now. To be totally honest.
Well,
But fine, I'll let my joke sandbag.
Yeah,
anyway.
we're just letting it go. Yeah. Happens to everyone.
It disappears. Eustace thinks it's the professor, and then Courage watches the thing disappear, and it starts raining indoors.
And
out the moose mouth.
Yes.
Which is magically placed.
To that. Sorry,
yes,
man.
it rains, and then it begins to flood. So then my brain went, okay, flood. It bursts out of Dilworth's stuff. It bursts out of the moose in a most horrifying way, and bursts out of the clock. So here's the thing. Behind the painting, there's pipes and walls. I got you. Out of the moose mouth and ears. Also pipes and walls.
Yeah.
I understand. Out of the grandfather clock. Nope. My suspension of disbelief was completely gone. It wasn't, but
we all know how it is.
So that you know how it is on a Tuesday afternoon when the water just starts pissing out of your clock.
It's just the regular thing,
And then they go upstairs,
in New Jersey.
Which is
In the
I'm moving on. I hate both of you. I started it and I hate me. They all go upstairs, which is what you do in a flood, proper safety. Except you should go to the roof. And the
attic
the flood is the flood is crazy. That is the most airtight house on the face of the earth.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a shitty looking house, but airtight. Gotta give it to Eustace there.
Oh yeah. And Eustace is under the water with a snorkel, and I was very upset by that. That's not how snorkels work. You gotta have it above the water.
Does that count as a death?
No, because it's a robot.
He lived.
Oh, so you're saying computers don't have souls?
Yes.
AI?
Yeah.
No.
Close enough.
Oh, wow.
No, unless it's the future, and then yes, don't terminate me.
Well, what about the episode where the computer has a soul?
We're not there yet.
Doesn't live in a vacuum.
And it does.
We're also not at the Boar episode yet. We're not there.
But it's a flood in the house, and apparently the bags were prepared for this because there's a drain in the basement. Now, that's not unusual. There are drains in some basements around the nation.
Mostly in mortuaries.
Well, okay. Gross. Super gross. Thank you for that.
Wow. It's great that you know that.
So, what did Muriel do before? Before this
You and I came from a town that had literally like 6 houses in it that were mortuaries at one point in time.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about at this point.
Like you
yeah,
and I could go.
Drains in the basement.
To our home. You and I could go to our hometown. And I could point out like 5 houses that
Taylor,
were
I
mortuaries
could go to
at one
my
point
house and point out the drain in my basement.
Well, I have a drain in my basement, but it's for draining of the air conditioner.
Yeah,
unit.
it's for draining of excess fluid from the equipment.
There's a lot of those. That happens in a lot of. Oh my god.
Anyways, he pulls the cord. The house is now drained of all the water that was flooding.
There's an actual plug in the basement in this one, like a bathtub, and all of the water goes rushing out.
Pulling all the furniture too.
The world is again saved by the Powerpuff Girls. Is there a Powerpuff Girls podcast?
Yeah, I'm sure
there has to be, right?
Yeah.
If
not, that's our second podcast on the side. Make sure you tune in to the Liquid Powerpuff.
The PPG podcast.
I'm gonna throw my headset.
The Liquid Puff podcast.
Like you haven't before.
But Courage drains the house, and we cut to Ramses, and he makes a fun noise. Sheldon, you want to emulate that noise?
Oh, come on.
That's exactly it.
The mummy of Ramses goes, oh, which is my favorite thing in the entire world.
We've all been there.
1,000-year-old spirit is just, oh, man.
Oh, man.
I love that so much.
Come on.
So that happens, and then it's more conversation about return the slab. What's your offer? What's your offer?
The slab.
What's your offer again?
Which is my favorite one, by the way.
Second plague. Terrible music.
Oh, I have the actual lyrics for that.
I was a band student. I know what it should sound like.
It's so terrible and wonderful.
So the actual song that is called "The Man in Gauze."
The Man in Gauze.
So when they're singing,
I like it. Mummy, gotcha.
Yeah, when they're singing, it's like the Man in Gauze, 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 King Ramses, the Man in Gauze. That's
about as
all the words. Also,
that's it.
Also, they also sing in the second verse. The beginning piece is repeated 5 or 6 times. King Ramses, the Man in Gauze, the Man in Gauze. He's no Santa Claus. So I was right when we were watching it.
Oh fuck! Okay, I owe you $1, Tim.
Yeah, they pull up. They say he's no Santa Claus several times.
See, and here's the thing. I'm listening to that song right now.
I'm sure you are.
That could be a banger.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great club hit.
2019 club hit, The Man in Gauze. That could be a banger.
Someone could remix that and make it the best thing in the world.
Chance the Rapper, get at me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's it's
Sorry,
not bad.
I just banged my bottle against my teeth.
That's good. Did you chip them?
Earlier in my life, I.
Oh, well, then you're fine. So this goes on. It hurts their ears. It kind of hurt my ears because I had my volume up too high.
It hurt my soul. Does that count?
It made them pretty much scream in agony.
Yeah, and Courage runs out to deal with the sound and finds a record player behind a rock.
Ramses, you could have did better there.
1,000-year-old spirit put a record player behind a rock.
You know what? Thinking about it, in his defense, where else was he gonna hide it in nowhere?
Yeah, and one of the trivia things for this episode is that despite the record looking like it's warped, it's playing in perfect condition.
That's the dumbest bit of trivia I have ever heard.
No shit. I read that and I was like, why is that here?
That's so stupid. The amount of times in this show that they have shown warped records playing normal music. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't know why they should play that.
What hipster is sitting around going,
wait a minute. How many times have they shown a record?
Like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. They had the guy who... Oh, was that not... That hasn't happened yet.
Either way...
I'm seriously asking a question.
I think probably 2 or 3 times. But either way, I wasn't paying attention. But either way... Shut up. That's the dumbest bit of trivia I have ever heard. That's the dumbest bit of trivia followed by King Ramses is one of the few characters that is shown in animated CGI. No shit. He is?
Along with the wagon.
Oh, it's not trivia. Sorry, it's an error on the fandom. I apologize. The record
it's an error.
I'm gonna break my entire.
Yeah, you are. Here's the error. The straight inscription. The record that the man in gauze is played on seems to be warped. Due to the item being damaged, the record would skip instead of playing the full song clearly. So they don't play the actual full song in the episode to avoid copyright, and that's how they got around it, was making it seem like it was warped.
What did you just say?
Yeah, so
that's not real.
I bet that's the reason they jumped around copyright strike for whatever reason. They had
to have made that. No, they had to have made that song for this show.
I don't know, man.
I don't. There is no way that someone out there made The Man in Gauze, King Ramses, as a frickin' banger in 2009.
The Man in Gauze is the theme that was used in the episode The King's Ramses Curse, and it was created for the King's Ramses second curse. So it was created for this. I apologize, I guess.
I'm gonna break the entire internet.
Yeah, that song was made for this episode. Don't think anything else. Yeah.
Thank you, fandom. This is why I told you it's terrible.
That's why I have it pulled up every episode.
It's busted, bud. But that happens, and Courage defeats the second curse
by beating it to death.
And then, with a hammer.
Yep.
We see the chicken coop. No chickens. Breaks the record. Ramses does a little snapping finger of man.
I could have did so much more with that record.
And it's a top 40 hit.
The third curse.
Kids sing now.
And then we get to the third curse, which is Locust.
Which is
the
worst one.
Again, Eustace threatens Ramses. What's your offer?
1 million is as low as I'll go, you fuck.
Pretty much. And out the Loci. And Locust. Here's Tim. Let me give you my bit of trivia.
Sure.
That I found looked up.
Sure, go ahead.
Just so you know. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm here.
In real life, locusts are herbivores. They don't devour cars or other animals or people.
Oh, that's great.
That's on IMDb, folks.
We've all seen The Mummy.
That's great, but in the show, they eat the fucking car.
Yeah, now
they
in the
eat
show,
the fucking wood.
They eat everything. Now locusts, for those of you that don't know, is basically grasshoppers that have frenzied. That's all you need to know. If you want to have a real life skeevy moment, either look up Kansas in the 30s, or look up Las Vegas last week.
I was going to say, just go ahead and look up our life here in Kansas 7 years ago. Or
Google Las Vegas August or July 2019. You can see the plague of locusts that descended upon the strip for 2 days.
Stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah, it's gross. It's super gross. They're gross. They're gross bugs.
As someone who's been on the Las Vegas Strip when it was 50 degrees, and the weirdest time of my life to be on the Strip, because there was no one out.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when no one's out on the Strip, it's fucking weird, dude. It's the
Tim
weirdest
didn't even
time.
see any hookers. He was disappointed.
No, there was nothing. There was no one. Everyone was cold. They left.
Cards.
It was weird.
If
There was no nuns with just the things over their nipples. There's nothing. None of those things.
Have you been to Las Vegas, or have you only played Saints Row?
I've been to Vegas twice. What are you talking about? Have you walked down the Strip and seen the people who are dressed as nuns but don't have anything on except for the things over their nipples?
Hey, Vegas is a family-friendly environment now.
That's bullshit. I can tell you right now.
Stephen Wynn wants Vegas to be a family-friendly environment. The mob doesn't run it anymore.
I've been to the National Association of Broadcasters convention twice, and let me tell you, every time I've been there, it's been debauchery the whole time. The whole goddamn time.
And Tim will never be invited back. But
we were invited the first time. That's not the point.
So Lokai descend, begin eating everything, return the slab. Eustace still very no thank you. Until the locusts begin eating the friggin' house.
From top down, yeah.
From top down, Muriel freaks out.
Nervous baker.
Runs, we thought outside initially, but apparently just into the kitchen.
I think she does run outside first.
I think she might. And
yeah, so
come back
around the house.
One
sure,
of the
why
trivia
not?
for this episode is that she runs completely outside the house. And it's actually, sorry, it's not trivia, it's an error. When Muriel runs away from the locust screaming, it shows her running into what is supposed to be the kitchen, but what the animation shows is clearly the backyard.
We're not wrong this time.
Yeah, so she ran out of the house, but in the animation, it showed her running completely out of the house.
Accidents happen.
And then showing her be in the kitchen for some weird reason. So.
Yeah. And she starts baking, so we now know that baker, when things are bad, she bakes. That's a cool character trait. That's real. That's
not
something that people do.
Yeah.
And then Courage and Eustace fight over the slab until it is almost too late, and Courage throws it outdoors. Ramses is like, cool. The plague goes away, and everyone is traumatized, Muriel included.
Got 3 cakes here, nothing to do with it.
And then at the very end, Eustace runs outside to grab the slab.
I can't believe it.
Yes, he can't believe it. He's so excited. It's the first time we see CGI Ramses and Eustace in the same shot. It's the first time we see CGI Ramses and any other character in the same shot.
As it should be.
Now, I've been avoiding talking about Ramses up to this point because I wanted all of us to have this moment before we talk about the end of the episode.
When bad CG works?
Really talk about Ramses. Now, CGI in 2000. Not great.
Oh no.
But this is one of those things that I wanted to kind of deal with. Notable CGI movies that came out in the year 2000. Dinosaur. The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't keep listening up. Jesus Christ, they're all bad.
Shrek 2?
No!
Nope, that came out in 2004. My bad.
Oh, thank God.
Shrek 2 was the good one, though.
Oh, God.
Shrek 1 came out in 2001.
Ah!
Tim, do you not like Shrek?
I don't like bad CGI. Ah!
So, there's a few. Now, this is an interesting thing. Because in 2000, CGI is rough.
Yeah, it's very rough.
To say the least.
Don't sugarcoat it. It was bad.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius came out in 2001.
And it was bad.
Yeah, I was going to say. The
Monsters Inc. came out in 2001 too.
What was the name
of
the
I'm
cool
sure it
kid
did.
in that movie?
Pixar is not what you need to show. Yeah.
Ramses. Now, this is for movies, and movies is a different category. Television
is even worse.
Television's rough.
Yeah.
You don't believe me? Look up a show called Reboot.
No. Don't look
now
it up.
Hold on.
And don't look at
bad.
No. I'm not saying that the story in Reboot is bad. I'm just saying animation.
No. Don't look up Reboot because there's also a reboot of Reboot happening right now.
My brain hurt.
I'm sorry. What?
That's a lot of reboots. There's a new season of Reboot coming out.
You have not been watching other channels.
I try to keep us clean for this channel.
But this is interesting. So there's an effect called Uncanny Valley when things are just too perfect, but just slightly off, that your brain finds it creepy. That's a big thing happening now. This is we have to do a special episode for cats.
I don't want to, but
we have to because I know entirely too much about the original musical.
Didn't you go to Cats?
I was like 10 and my aunt bought me tickets, so yes.
Oh, get the fuck out. No, get out of here.
It's great. It was terrifying even then. But I'll tell you all about Rum Tum Tugger. But Ramses still... I don't like it. I don't like his look.
I think it's good. I like it.
No.
It's bad. I think it's a good mix of media.
But it's good for this.
I think it's good mixed media, dude.
It's awesome to see that in a 2000s cartoon, but even now as I'm looking at it, I go, God, I hate everything about the way it moves puts me off.
Which means it worked.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Man.
It's so spooky. And Ramses is this CGI character with 3 wispy hairs and unnatural movements.
And we all know that kid.
It's fucking it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And it still is something that I go as an adult I go, I just don't like it. My brain goes, that's not how it moves. And it's not even like funny CG haha, it's like there needs to be more frames. And
it's fine. What are you talking? No, it's fine.
And I remember being a kid
and not liking
and seeing that episode and immediately going, I don't like this at all.
I'm gonna have to go to bed with that in my mind.
And I think that's why this one sticks out to people, because most people saw it when they were younger, and it's such an unnatural look compared to the rest of the show. It's such a deviation of the art style that it immediately freaks people out. Would you agree?
So creepy, yeah.
Oh no, it's no contest. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's why people remember it, because it's such a difference between the 2D and the 3D animation.
It's like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this in my life.
And so like that is what amazes me about it, for one. For two, the fact that they're able to lay it over normal cartoon animation is what's really cool also, because it shows that medium kind of coming together. And we'll see that influence later on in other cartoons.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more.
Especially Amazing World of Gumball is one that comes to mind, where that is an extreme mixed medium.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a so that series is a graphic designer's wet dream for sure.
Is that series over? I don't remember.
Not yet. No, it's still going.
Do they have one more season left?
I believe so. If not,
there are things that I see in that show that I go, how are you getting away with that?
When I watch,
it's pretty funny. I like it a lot.
When I used to watch it, I was like, oh man, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of good graphic design shit going on.
Well, and so it's nice to see in 2000 somebody taking that risk, and Cartoon Network giving them that risk to do that.
Oh yeah,
and it's super creepy and weird, and it's still super creepy and weird, even though the show itself is fun and wonderful.
I'll never forget about that.
If there was ever a person to do it, though, it'd be Turner and Cartoon Network. That's it.
Yeah.
Before we rate this episode, dude, do you want me to read all the trivia for it?
Well, how about I finish talking about it?
Yeah, let's. We're not even done yet.
Are you not done yet? Oh my.
No, God. I got 10 more minutes. I got 2 more minutes left.
Yeah.
So, Courage throws Slab out. Eustace tries to get. He's like, your curses are all over, and Ramses one more time, and then
trap card, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, your plagues are done. You're fighting a ghost, Eustace, and he calls up the locusts.
Yeah.
That eat him.
Presumably.
And so I marked that down too. That gives us our 10 deaths total, 4 Eustace deaths.
Woo,
And we go to the end of the episode, which is Muriel and Courage hanging out in the destroyed house watching TV, and it cuts to the professor talking about not a museum, but the crypt of Ramses, where the slab was returned to.
We all
and Eustace is there, trapped in the slab. Now I want to say something.
Yes.
Sure, yeah. Say it.
We presume the cats steal it from a museum.
Yeah.
Right?
We presume the professor is wanting this to go back to a museum because they talk about it. But instead, it's back in its crypt in wherever that crypt is. Let's assume Egypt.
Yeah.
Because that's where Ramses is buried. So, was Ramses haunting everyone? Because theoretically,
yeah,
that had to be removed from Egypt, brought to Nowhere, Kansas, stolen by 2 cats, taken by Eustace, and then returned all the way back to Egypt. Did this professor also get chased by the ghost?
It's called white guilt.
But he didn't have the maybe.
Was there a? By the way, hey everybody, look up mummy parties. That was a real thing where rich people would buy mummies from Egypt and have unwrapping parties.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
that's 100% real, and that is the biggest like thing of like, wow, white privilege was fucking rad in the 1800s, huh? Because you could just buy Egyptian mummies. Like you just have them sent to, like just bought on a normal market, sent to your house, and then you and your rich white friends could just unwrap them while you drank your G&Ts.
Like
your Tanqueray and bullshit. Yeah.
Like, holy crap, that's so real. And I love that fact, and I despise it all at the same time. Colonialism did terrible things to the world.
And with that.
But yeah, and so it's all returned, and we don't know where Eustace is, as Muriel often does. And that's the end of the episode. It's terrifying. It's weird. It's got mixed medium. It's dark.
It's perfect.
It's wonderful.
Crazy, yeah.
It is the Courage the Cowardly Dog episode. Read me your trivia, you charlatan.
Oh yeah, now you want. So
yeah, of course.
The very first part is first and only appearance of King Ramses. The very only.
Shit,
that's trivia.
No shit, that's trivia. That's the very first part of trivia. Also, the first appearance of it's the first appearance of Professor Frith, which is the guy who shows up at the beginning of the episode.
That's just the sheriff in a different outfit.
When Courage transformed to a boat, a sailor version of Freaky Fred music can be heard. So when he transformed to a boat as the Titanic sinking at the second time.
When the professor shows up, they talk about he transforms into a bunch of things.
Yeah, so, disappearing him.
Yeah,
and then
King Ramses does not give the cat thieves 3 chances to return the slab. We
discussed that in the episode. We didn't discuss it here.
Well, I mean,
interesting.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's what happens. This episode was played at the end of a VHS of Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders.
This is true.
Are you fucking serious?
I am serious.
Alien Invaders
came
out around this, like...
Yep.
It was at the same time, so this is at the end of the
I didn't
DVD
think that movie was that
VHS
old.
of it, sorry.
Yep. Isn't that the one where Shaggy gets a relationship with the alien?
Yep. And there's also a female dog that Scooby gets involved with.
Well, he doesn't get cucked, but he gets blue-balled. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of off-screen. That was around the time when they were doing real Scooby-Doo shit.
That movie's
Zombie Island.
Zombie Island.
Oh, that was before it. That was before it.
No, I know that, but it's that same era of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Courage only has 1 line of dialogue in this episode, not counting his yelling and screaming. This episode is commonly thought by fans to be one of the scariest episodes of the series.
I would believe it.
No shit.
Yeah. The cat burglars at the beginning of resemble cats. Like, I don't know why that's a stupid trivia thing.
Hey, it's almost like Wiki Fandom allows anybody to edit their pages.
Oh, here's the biggest trivia thing that you could have. A piece of the Man in Gauze theme was sampled by Kanye West in his song "I'm in It."
Oh my god!
Yeah, so he sampled a very small portion of the song.
By the way, this episode was written
It was written by Kanye West.
No, it was Bill, and it's Marsili, I want to say Marsilii. The credit for the writing credit on.
Oh sure, yeah.
Bill, you did a weird job. It was very scary. 10 out of 10. Dilworth got the credit on there too.
Got my goosebumps, sir.
Yeah. Cohen got one too.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Same voice. But Bill's the one credited.
Bob Miller or Bill?
I see Bill.
Oh, I see Bob.
Well, I see Bill, and IMDb says Bill, so you want to play this game, Mr. User-Edited
Fandom.
Website?
Fandom's not right, ever.
Don't trust Fandom.
It's almost like those are allowed to be edited by normal people.
Haha, anyways, how many slabs out of 10 do you
I prefer Man and Gauze.
How many men and gauze? How many men and gauze are we going to give this one? I like that. I'm going to give it 5. I like 5 out of 5.
He likes me better, Tim. 5.
King Ramses gets a 5. I can't give it not a 5. It is the one that probably freaked me out the most. I'm kind of a generic.
Freaky Fred. It's just there, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna say we're saying a 5 out of 5 for sure because this is the most memorable episode for sure.
Yeah,
and also the most shit that's happening in it per episode for the first season.
Yeah, it's got cool stuff. It's got weird stuff. It's just really odd and enjoyable. And if you show it to younger people, it will be very spooky. If you're in your late or mid-20s, it's probably not going to scare you anymore.
I don't know. That's CGI, man.
If you were, it's unsettling. It's not. I mean, it's weird. But yeah, it's great. It is a great episode. It's got good funny bits to it. It's got good sight gags. It's just good. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the B side of this for episode 7.
Which is
also honestly really good.
Really good episode. And any more thoughts?
I don't really have any.
Yeah, nothing left on the King Ramses.
I think
we talked a long time.
Yeah, we got at least 40 minutes on that bullshit.
Yes. So we're moving on. The second part of this episode is the clutching foot. Main writer credit going to David S. Cohen on this one. It's a fun one.
It
is a fun guy of a episode.
It hasn't been the grossest shit I've seen.
This is as gross as Kurt gets.
But as a kid, I went like, ew, gross.
As an adult, I'm still like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
So, the clutching foot. Tim, you said you had some fond memories of this one.
This is one of my favorite episodes for sure. Yeah.
Yes. This episode starts off in the bag home at night. The normal starting point of a lot of Courage mysteries in the dark. They're asleep. Courage at the foot of the bed. Something is afoot in bed. And that is Courage gets kicked by Eustace's foot up to the ceiling. And kind of the first iteration of something being wrong with Eustace in this episode. And what we end up with is a fun turn of events throughout this episode, which is just weird and odd.
Yeah, there's a lot of remedies to cure his foot fungus.
Yes.
Which turns out to be the case.
Yes, as Courage wakes the family up after careening back into bed after hitting the ceiling after Eustace kicked him, Eustace is shown that he has something wrong with his foot, and is grown to be purple with these terrible neon yellowy green spots.
I don't know about you.
They're great. I don't know what you're talking
If
about.
my foot was purple,
You're
it's
dead.
just coming off. It's just coming off.
Yeah, cut that shit off, please God, before it absorbs your whole body. Which we'll get to later in the episode.
I will ask the doctor to remove this foot. There's something wrong. Sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. This then leads the matriarch of the Bag family, Muriel, to attempt to cure Eustace's foot in the most horrific ways we've ever seen.
In three ways, yeah. There's three different options. The first option.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I can't remember. I remember the second option.
Prickly pear.
Oh, first way is a fucking cactus.
A cactus. The second way is of lobsters.
Yes.
The third way is something unnameable.
It's a weird, almost radioactive green goo.
I cannot tell you.
He puts his food in, and then he pulls it out, and that's burned to death. Oh no,
food.
Oh no.
Put his food in.
This horrendous, unnameable horror.
And it's all bad. The minute they show rubbing a cactus on one's foot, I immediately just had a shiver go down my spine because I went,
that's not right.
I've had a I've sat on a cactus one time.
Oh, it's bad.
I was outside and I was on a little cliffside and I didn't look before I sat and I sat on a cactus.
May I ask how old you were at this opportune moment?
I was 11.
That makes sense. Continue.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucked, my dudes. It sucked real hard. You know what sucked more than that? Pulling the needles out.
Oh, I bet. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you.
Oh no, you should. It's very funny. It hurts. I cried like a little baby. It hurts so bad.
You were 11.
That
that image immediately sent me back to that point, and I just went, nope. I've been pinched by a crawdad. I haven't been pinched by a lobster. It hurts. That's fine. The minute a cactus is shown, I still get skeevy around cactuses in real life. I went to California over the summer, and people have cacti in their yard as a lawn ornament because they're crazy. And I would walk by them on the street as they would reach over the edge of their fence, and I would just be like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. It's such a scary plant. I don't like it. Succulents are rad, and I want them in my home, but boy, oh boy, that blockage. So that happened. Eustace screams through all of these. None of them work. And then it comes down to going to the doctor. And in fun commentary into the world today, we all were like, haha, you can't afford to go to the doctor because healthcare. Haha.
Yeah, haha.
It's fun. America, 2019. Uh-oh.
You there?
I am. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
My stuff is... Could you hear me through all that, or did I cut out the whole
you
time?
just said, haha, no, doctor, haha.
So Eustace wants to go to the doctor, but he's like, no, can't go to the doctor. We made a fun commentary about that being 2019 price of healthcare.
My apologies.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun time that we had there.
Was it fun?
No,
was it really that fun?
No, it made me very sad. And I have health insurance. Ha 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 ha. But so that happened, and Eustace ignores, doesn't go to the doctor. We don't see the vaguely racist doctor in this episode.
Nope, not at all. Nope.
I forget about him.
Don't. He'll be back. And we then cut to, in my notes, I just wrote down body horror.
Yeah, so the foot absorbs almost all of Eustace after a nap. Eustace wakes up after a nap and goes, "Oh, this is the best I've felt ever! Like, oh my god, I feel great."
By the way, folks, if you're ill, and your foot's purple with neon splotches, if you have a spot on your leg that's really hot and it feels like it's creeping up your leg, go to the doctor so you don't turn into Eustace.
So you don't turn into a giant foot with a gangster accent.
Oh my god. It's body horror.
Yeah, so the foot absorbs all of Eustace. Like 100%.
Becomes sentient.
And I know for some of you that's the dream, but fucking come back to Earth for a second.
That's not... No.
Yeah.
I don't know who... yeah, fuck it, whatever.
There's a website for everything.
Yeah, whatever your thing is, whatever. I'm not gonna ask.
My foot's taking over my entire body.
Yeah, the big toe is the main mobster, and all the four toes left on the, big on the foot.
Toes are sentient now, and they all have a New Jersey, New Yorker accent,
and they're all trying to, be a mobster.
And they got tongues.
Oh my god,
yeah, see?
And so there's a big toe, and there's the 3 middle toes that are with the big toe, and then there's the little toe that's like, just a little bit off.
I literally had to count. I counted to make sure you didn't leave out a toe.
I did not.
I was gonna for real
because I was gonna be like, if he leaves out a toe, I'm gonna put him on.
Oh, there's 6 toes on every foot. Don't know.
What, you guys don't have 4 toes?
You don't have 7 toes on your foot? Look at that! Oh my god!
Me and all 24 of my toes need to go.
It's just body horror. Eustace gets absorbed. They're gonna knock over a bank. They step on Muriel.
And they're gonna fucking end the old fat lady.
They force Courage.
Shut up, fat lady. They say a lot.
Yeah, they force Courage.
They make a
Courage with Courage.
And by the way, they make Courage rob a bank through an ATM, which he goes through the fucking air ducts.
Courage is really good at robbing a bank.
Which is the weirdest thing that Courage
better
can
than
do.
A dog should be.
So he only has shoes on his feet, I guess, but his hands are still going through it.
But
he's
not
still a dog.
Front feet.
He's still a dog. Yeah. And he crawls through the vents, tries to open the vault, can't get the vault open, and then sits down some dynamite to blow open the door as the door swings open.
Which was
and we died. All 3 of us died.
Yeah, because it's the most bullshit thing in the world.
It was so funny.
Yep,
it's so stupid.
That's about right.
I chuckled and chortled. It was great.
The cockles of my heart.
It was so funny. I think this is one of the funniest episodes we have watched.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so funny.
You blew up the money, you fucking dumb dog.
Oh, you blew up the money. Now we gotta do something else, you dumb dog.
That was a foreseeable consequence.
Yes. It was like, of course this is gonna happen. So they blow up the bank, they blow up the money. Courage has to again go do another heist because they're gonna put the squeeze on the fat lady, as they say again.
As they step on her and she farts, or they fart one time.
Or both farts.
Even Muriel wasn't aware that she was capable of such.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
And so what they're gonna do is they're gonna knock over a train.
Wow, dog, just stand there and make the train stop.
As Red Dead Redemption has taught us, trains have money.
They go to kick the train to make sure it's just off the tracks. They slip on Courage's banana peel that he was eating the whole time.
He was eating a banana.
He ate when he was nervous.
He was nervously eating a banana.
It's like, God, I'm gonna get hit by this train. Better eat this banana.
They literally kick over a train.
They kill all the people in that train.
I don't know how many, so I didn't count it.
There's no way you can count it, but I swear to God.
I don't know, Taylor. How hard can you be kicked by a fucking like 2-ton foot?
By an anthropomorphic foot?
Can you imagine the music video for Everlong being kicked on its side, and just have all those people die?
Does Everlong take place on a train?
Yes. Have you not seen the music video for Everlong?
No.
By Foo Fighters? No. Get out of here.
No,
Get out!
It doesn't take place on a train.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Oh shit! Is that DOA?
Hang on. hey, let me look at this really cool music video for Everlong that doesn't take place on a train.
God damn it, it was DOA.
Tim, before you make a fool of yourself any further.
It's DOA.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Look at all this. I mean, they do grow weird, large hands in it, so I guess you get that pass.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but
it's
Everlong.
It is absolutely in a house. That's outside. Ooh.
Yeah, just
that's in a cabin.
Hey, how about you just look at
that's a big old axe. Ooh. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep talking about Everlong. Ooh.
Tim, you did it already. You fucking made
I know. I fucked myself
He's
up.
going to ride you forever.
I can't believe I did that. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It's alright, Tim. You'll pay him back someday.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
And I will also be up at the chopping block. I just won't know when. Oh man.
So Courage is he basically they
kicked Foo Fighters on the train.
No, they're great. Yeah,
and he hung out with Dave Grohl.
Yeah, hey, Jack Black was there. You know he was there.
Jack Black is also not in that video.
I know he was in the fucking Learn to Fly video.
I thought for a second you were saying that foot was voiced by Jack Black, and I was gonna go, "Are you fucking for real?"
So, anyways, Courage. They go back to the house, and the foot was like, "Hey, we're gonna rob Florida." And they're like, "Oh,
we're gonna knock over Florida."
We're gonna knock over Florida. To which Muriel responds, "I think that's illegal. I don't know where she's been for the last two acts of
Also,
criminality."
she's like, "I think I don't actually know."
Yeah, that was also worrying.
Well, I mean, her education can't be that great. She's from nowhere.
Yeah, she's from Kansas. Come on.
But
and she married fucking Eustace. We all have that family member too.
So they do that, and the I still have Everlong pulled up.
I know, it pisses me off. It's in my mind. I just sit there like, no, I said the wrong one. No. It makes my brain crumble.
Crazy talk.
If there's ever a descent to madness for me, that's it.
Oh. And Courage gets away and runs upstairs to go to the computer, which survived the flood, and has to figure out how to cure this fungus, because there's a fungus among us.
And it goes, you need a sample, you twit.
Yep.
Very close to something that couldn't have been aired on television.
So they have to get a sample. Now, there's a lot of ways to get samples of things.
We'll just grab a bundle.
Courage does. Again, this episode is just like, I have body horror underlined again.
We forgot the tooth scream.
Oh my god, we did.
Let's
folks.
come back
literally
to that,
made me
I'm
vomit
sorry,
almost.
folks. No, we'll do that right now. I'm sorry, folks. This is body horror, because after Eustace has been absorbed by the foot, Courage walks into the room
and screams. And
Courage screams a lot, but his entire mouth shoots his teeth out of it.
And he even stops and goes, "Oh!"
It's the fact that it hurts that really kills me.
Yep.
I'm like, oh my god, his teeth have all exploded out of his jaw. Can we not do this right now?
It was literally the worst. And so this theme of gross is continuing. We also forgot about the shriveled up burnt Eustace foot after the green goop. But that was early on in the episode. Yeah. So Courage has to get a sample.
So he
How does he get a sample?
So he throws a line out and just grabs one of the back parts of the foot.
Now, Tim, when you say throw a line out, what do you mean?
I
For
mean,
those of the people that don't know that terminology.
He literally has a fishing pole.
He's got a fishing pole. Hey, what's on the end of fishing line, Tim?
A hook.
A hook.
Oh, no.
I hate the world.
Oh, he throws it out.
Hey, the two of you, have you ever been hooked by a fishing hook?
Yeah, I have several times.
You one of the ones that have the barbs on the end?
Yes, I have several times.
That's cool. How do you get those? How do you get that out?
Not easily.
You push it through all the way.
I was a young child when it happened.
Don't pull it back through. If it's got the barb on it, it'll do more damage. Just push it all the way through.
My brother, when we were
cringe with me, everyone.
I don't want to do
Stan.
it. My brother, my grandparents used to live in Florida, and my brother hooked a turtle in the eye.
Oh.
And he came to shore, and we're like, oh, that's what we hooked. And then my brother had to pull the hook out of the fucking turtle. It was the worst experience of my life because it's very much gore. You had to push it and then pull it back.
Tim, I can be friends with you, but I can't be friends with your brother.
I'm not friends with my brother. It's God, it was so horrible.
I don't care if he meant to or not.
He did not meant to. It doesn't matter. It hooked him through the fucking eye. It was like a very circumstance kind of thing.
Dear listener, fish hooks aren't cool.
No, it's not good.
They
to
are
hook
meant
by anything.
to catch.
Oh my god.
And so Courage uses a fish hook to hook a piece of sample off the back of the toe.
Yeah, that's what got you to push through. All right, good.
And it's so gross. It makes a ripping noise. And
they don't notice. The fucking thing doesn't notice.
Which means it's just dead flesh. Necrosis has set in. Kill it.
And he puts the sample into the computer by slamming it in disk drive. The computer even spits it out. And we find out the only cure for this fungus is dog spit.
Ugh.
Work up that drool.
And Courage just goes,
I know. Drool, baby.
This is going to leave a horrible taste in my mouth.
Work up that drool, baby. That is an episode title if I ever heard one.
Work up that drool, baby. Maybe. There's a lot of episode titles here. Man, there's a ton.
And he goes down and just begins licking that foot.
In between each toe.
Oh, he just licks the fuck out of it, and they just keep laughing.
It's it's ticklish.
Sure,
it's silly. It's
doesn't make you want to puke the whole time.
Let me put this gun barrel in my mouth.
Oh, it's so gross. Now, we didn't know if we were going to be able to record this episode in a timely manner, and so we were going to do a one-off episode where I found fan fiction for Courage the Cowardly Dog. I now don't want to find fan fiction for Courage the Cowardly Dog.
We don't need to, because that's the most fan fiction we need.
That's going to go real deep, boys.
Oh, please. We'll still do a fan fiction episode. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Eustace and Muriel are dead.
Somewhere down the
line.
The
villains.
We will still find fan fiction.
Yeah, we will. It's not hard. I found it.
It's not hard. Hard is not a good word to use. Anyways.
Quit using hard.
It's very flaccid.
Quit using flaccid.
But speaking of things that are flaccid, eventually the foot begins to react to the tongue of Courage.
Lick, yeah.
And we start to see Eustace emerge from the horror that was his foot. Unscathed, really.
Almost
it's
as
a good
like
thing
he was
probably doesn't remember a thing.
Yeah. And that's really the end of the episode proper.
Yeah, until Courage is up in the bathroom, brushing
getting the taste out of his mouth.
Yep, getting the taste out of his mouth.
And then he opens his mouth after he hears, open,
I got a plan, dog.
Yeah.
He opens his mouth to see that his tongue has been infected by that fungus as well. And that fungus is now his tongue. So much for a dog's mouth being the cleanest mouth ever.
That's such a dumb.
Yeah, all of you get out.
So, boys,
not accurate.
Oh shit, it's not accurate.
It's such a body horror episode.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes for sure. It's one of the first episodes I remember, but it's also one of the first episodes that has like gross humor, like Ren and Stimpy, kind of like, oh, that shouldn't be there. Oh, why am I seeing this? Oh God. Oh. I don't want to see this kind of episode.
But you did.
It was such a.
It's not the worst body, like, gross out humor that I've ever seen, but it still somehow leaves its mark.
For a 2000s era cartoon that was aired on a national network, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird and so odd.
So when you say national network in 2000, Cartoon Network
was everywhere, pretty much.
It wasn't as big as it was in like 2003. 2003 is when Cartoon Network was like there.
But they still aired this episode.
Oh yeah,
past that point.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like it definitely ran in syndication for a while.
Oh yeah, several times. Oh yeah.
But it's such it's such a weird. So weird. And this is why I was like, when we talk about when you watch some of those videos, they talk about like, oh, look, the influence that Dilworth might have had or whatever. That's great. Please do not discount that Courage the Cowardly Dog went its own fucking way, my dude.
Oh man, it was his own fucking thing for the whole time.
It was so weird. Could you imagine Bugs Bunny just losing it and licking Daffy's foot all up and down to get rid of that fungus among us?
Let's not talk about fan fiction right now. We're talking about the TV show.
Yeah, no fan fiction. Okay.
Like,
would you like some trivia to complete your ending of the episode?
Will it wash the taste out of my mouth?
No.
No.
There's no way it will.
It'll just make the foot taste worse.
So here is the trivia for the episode. This is the first appearance of the Big Toe, not the last.
Yeah.
The toes are based on gangsters in the 1930s movies. So
I feel like this trivia is not too trivia.
Oh, it never is. This is the first episode where Muriel immediately knows about the monster and the danger it presents.
Yeah.
Squeeze the fat lady, see?
Yeah.
That becomes a fairly, not necessarily normal theme, but she becomes more aware as the episode goes on.
She understands that there's danger in a lot of the other episodes.
Oh, again.
So the last trivia is super long, but
okay.
So the engine on the train is 480, or an American Madison type steam locomotive. Locomotives were used in the common during the 1800s on American railroads, and from the 1830s until 1928 were given the name American, because all the work they did in every railroad in the United States. And there's a lot more like going on about that. Usually a locomotive tender would carry 4 wheels, which would make up for a total of 8 wheels, except the engine. That only has 4 wheels on its tender. This is a lot. This is the last thing. It's like a paragraph long of fucking trivia, and I'm just sitting there like I couldn't comprehend it the whole time I was reading it. I was just like, this is so bad.
Lost my wife, lost my kids, but I got my trains.
I got my trains, I got my courage.
All right, so the cultural parodies that's going on here. This is very short, so don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
The episode title is a parody to the 1936 film The Clutching Hand.
Okay, I'm assuming it's probably a gangster film.
It is
about a hand.
Probably a B-movie gangster film. Let's see who.
In 1936, The Clutching Hand. Also, one of the confusions in the episode is the episode shows Eustace's left foot is possessed, but in the title card, the right foot is possessed.
Aw, shit.
Oh, dippity dap.
So there's no,
1936, The Clutching Hand.
It's a gangster. It's a gangster movie.
It is a movie.
Oh, shit.
It's a 15 episode series.
Lost the tab on my beer can.
And it stars...
If it's not gangster,
nobody I know.
Danny DeVito.
Wow!
Stars no terribly notable people I'm aware of. Serial was based on a Reeves' final novel. Secret identity. It's fine. Like it's a B.
Yeah, it's a B movie for sure.
So
it's a B series. It's a 1936 B series.
Is it a gangster movie or no?
Kinda. By the way, it looks.
Yeah, so I would say it was.
Assistants seal the notebook containing the formula. Oh, maybe it's not. Having almost exhausted the estate of his young ward. I don't know. It almost seems like it might be a
Sci-fi.
Maybe a little bit of sci-fi, maybe a little bit of other stuff in there, maybe a little bit of body horror. I can't tell.
1930s were the worst.
36 is a weird time for film. Prison, captive. It appears to be a little bit of everything.
Oh, good.
It can't be a little bit of everything.
Well, you want the plot synopsis of the entire this 1936 film? Because I can read it to you.
This
I have it
episode's
pulled up.
going on long enough. How about we just rate this 1 out of 5 pusses?
That was the worst thing you've ever said in your entire life.
I said
Tim, I can't talk to you for a week.
And I think we're just gonna rate it 1 out of 5 toes.
Oh, fuck you. Sure, yeah, let's do it 1 out of 5 toes.
I don't like yours. Yours just sounded gross and weird.
That's what Courage collected.
Did you know what you said?
Yeah, I know what I said.
Do you know how those words work together?
Have you not been a male going through adolescence in the 2000s and not had a puss? Never mind. Let's go on. Sheldon, what do you think the episode is?
Oh, God, no.
I kind of want to go back now.
No. Sheldon, what do you think the episode rates out of toes? Yeah.
I rate it 4 out of 5 puss.
Thank God you did.
It was pretty good. It made me laugh.
I will rate it a 5 out of 5 because it's one of my favorite episodes for sure. It had a lot of comedy, a lot of good accents and gangsterisms, I guess I would say. So yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
5 out of 5, see?
Yeah, 5 out of 5, see?
I'm rethinking many things.
Oh?
I'm sure you are.
Mostly co-hosts.
Yeah, just kick me out. I'm the only one that records this. Yeah, kick me out, see what happens.
I got OBS. I'd give it 4 out of 5 talking toes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
see?
It's very funny. It's very disturbing. Even watching it now, I'm like, I don't like. It's kind of a thanks I hate it episode.
Yeah, very.
It's oh, thanks, I hate it. Like you're watching it, but you're still like, no, thank you. And yeah, 4 out of 5. I think it's probably another memorable character, another memorable episode. I think Ramses edges it out, obviously, just due to the fact that it's the one that you talk to people that are like, oh, Return to Slab.
Which isn't the Clutching Foot's fault. It's just King Ramses.
No, it was coupled with Ramses. I think it's great. If you, our dear listener, wants to tell us that we're wrong and that you should have rated it a different way, or you have other,
which we probably are,
or things we missed.
I'm always wrong. Yeah.
You're something. Feel free to get in contact with us either on our Twitter at liquid_podcast or our Gmail that is the thing that Tim said, and he'll say again right now.
I will say right now it is the Liquid Courage Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you want to give us some feedback, go for it. We're around. This should be available wherever your pods are casted.
Yep, it's on every. I think it's on every platform that you could.
I mean, you're listening to it right now. You could tell your friends about it. If you want to. You don't have to.
I'd appreciate it though.
Yeah, we'd love it. And if you want to leave us a review, we don't do review for review, but we'd love to see your reviews for this podcast.
Mm-hmm. If you want to tell Tim that his use of that terrible phrasing at the end of this episode was weird and strange, just make sure you put that bold in your reviews.
Make sure you add us too. I will fight you on Twitter.
Put him on blast. There you go.
I'm gonna steal Tim's joke here, but what's your favorite Courage the Cowardly Dog fanfiction? Let us know.
Fine. Don't worry about it.
No, let us know.
Oh God.
Actually, just go ahead and go to Tim's live stream and just drop him right
drop
in.
Tell him his...
You'll find me editing this podcast on at TimTV_TV. Yeah.
Anything else, boys?
Nope. That's it.
I think we're done.
Anything else to plug?
Nope. That's it.
No.
All right. Well, folks, we're happy you. Nope. We entertained you for a little while. You didn't entertain us. And we will see you within probably another month. Talk about another episode.
See you in September. Bye.
To steal a joke from Robert Evans, I love about 40% of you.
Fuck you. Bye.
Bye, buddies.
That was the Liquid Courage Podcast, an in-depth look at every episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog. On the next episode, we check out The Hunchback of Nowhere and The Gods Must Be Goosey. Music was provided by Visionless. You can find them at www.soundcloud.com/VISIONL3SS. We do not own the rights to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Until next time, have a wonderful night.